Hugo is really one of those dogs that's really an everyday miracle that could only happen here. Cute little puppy, a couple of months old, Labrador. The breeder recognized that something wasn't right about the dog, so they surrendered the dog to the adoption center, probably thinking that euthanasia was the right solution.
He has something called a persistent right aortic arch. Basically, there's a ligament that goes between the aorta and the pulmonary outflow tract that normally would be on the left side. And in his case, the opposite happened. So now the esophagus, which is where the food goes to the stomach, is being constricted by this band of tissue. If a lot of food builds up into his esophagus, he can inhale it into his lungs, and that can make him very sick. He was so full of life, so energetic, and so adoptable. We knew just by seeing him that he absolutely needed to have the surgery. Every time these dogs try and eat solid food, it gets caught. So we had to go in and cut the right ligament and make it so that food could actually get past. Once we feel confident that the esophagus is wide enough in that area, then we have to close the chest. We sometimes need to take advantage of gravity. So instead of a normal dog eating off the floor, they have to be trained to either jump up onto a counter or a table and eat that way so that gravity helps to bring the food down into their stomach. Or there's something called a Bailey chair. It's basically a wood box that dogs can be trained to go in, and they kind of sit up with their paws up like that. And there's a little tray that you can feed them on.
I fostered Hugo a month before his surgery, and then I had him a month after surgery to make sure that he was able to eat and do well. After having Hugo for 2 months and having him fully recovered, we needed to find a new home for him.
The first time we learned about Hugo, he was on the news, and then we started to follow the MSPCA on Instagram to keep a closer watch on his story.
This might be a good one too.
And when I saw that they were accepting applications, I was thrilled. I couldn't wait to come in.
So many people came forward, so many people were interested.
That might be a good one too.
We had gotten a call from Andrea, and I was just over the moon. I couldn't believe they called.
After we reviewed all the applications, did vet references, and had interviews over the phone, we selected several people to come and meet Hugo. And that's where we met Maggie and Carrie.
When we first met Hugo, it was love at first sight. I know that we both adored him from the beginning.
It was amazing to see how many people impacted his life to get him to where he is today. He's such a little love, and he wouldn't be the way that he is without the support of everybody at MSPCA-Angell.
When we have patients that come through our door and the owners don't want to euthanize their pet because it's a fixable problem, but they don't have funds to pay for it, our shelter comes through a lot and will take over the care for these patients.
The MSPCA-Angell doesn't exist without our volunteers and our donors. We are so dependent on the generosity and the sharing of our mission on the part of our donors because we can't do all of the things we want to do without their support.